And right now, I'd like to recognize Congressman Downing from the great state of Montana for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for having this hearing here today. And thank you, Mr. Stallings, for testifying. Really appreciate it. President Trump won an overwhelming victory campaigning on mitigating waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government. Unfortunately, under the Biden administration, the SBA became a hotspot for fraudulent spending of taxpayer dollars. According to the SBA's Office of the Inspector General, over $200 billion of the $1.2 trillion in SBA COVID-19 loans and grants were fraudulent. From your understanding, what was the driving force behind the Biden administration SBA's tolerance of fraud, and was this incompetence or malice?
Well, I appreciate the question. We've been reviewing, certainly since day one, Administrator Loeffler has said we're going to look into all our programs. We want to find out eligibility criteria, things of that nature. And I think that what we're seeing is that money went to folks that were never eligible for the money in the first place. Our team specifically talking about, say, the Shuttered Venues Operator Grant, or SVOG, as it's so widely known as. As we've been able to look into that program, we had a lot of folks that should have never gotten money in the first place, or if they've not been responsive, they won't follow up and complete the application. We're still dealing with folks now, 4 years later, and businesses that have yet to send us in final documentation and things like that. So our team is actively pursuing that. I think it was just not following through on what a grant is.
So how does the SBA plan to restore trust in its disaster loan program in the aftermath of this, unprecedented fraud during COVID?
So something that we've done is we've reviewed and looked at loopholes that could make it easy to do. So for instance, verification of damage. A lot of times it was moved to 10% only where we'd do a physical inspection. So of 100 loans, 10 of them got eyes laid on it to make sure it actually was in the area, made sure it received physical damage. The rest of it was done virtually, if you will. And so we've taken that option away. There's a certain dollar figure there. We're looking at $25,000 or more of damage that we were sending our folks out to review. We've brought our loss verifiers, put them back on the ground, got them out of offices, making them go through the damaged areas to ensure that folks who are receiving our funds have actually received damage and are eligible. Also, we're following up, making sure that if you request our loan, before we just give you this arbitrary large amount of money, you've done everything that you have to do to get the money. Right. That we're not just giving you money and then hoping you finish up the drill.
Well, I appreciate all that. It's obviously important to a lot of us that the SBA does restore that trust. Earlier this month, the House of Representatives passed my legislation, the SBA Fraud Enforcement Extension Act. And this bill extends the statute of limitations from 5 years to 10 years for investigating fraud in SBA's COVID-era restaurant revitalization program and also the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant. So on the topic of investigating fraud, to what degree are cases of fraud within COVID-era programs like these still being uncovered?
So every day we have an internal controls team that provides a report where they're going out and verifying and flagging applicants. We have another team that's dedicated. So right now, I don't have the number right in front of me. I know we've got 2 pools of letters. Each letter is in different phases of recoupment for SVOG. The first is somewhere around $400 million that we feel that should be recouped. The second is around $70 million that we're working towards. So we're somewhere in that $500 million range where we have went after those that are not meeting those eligibility requirements or have refused to complete the process. So we're very dedicated to that. Administrator Loeffler has said since day one, we will root out those and we will dig into those and find every taxpayer dollar and return it.
Important, thank you. I'm going to switch gears here for a second. I want to touch on artificial intelligence and streamlining SBA's operations. In March of 2025, the GAO released a report evaluating the SBA's use of AI and machine learning tools in the review of COVID-era loans. So in line with this, could you provide an overview of how your office currently uses or is considering using AI in its operations?
So we currently are not using AI in our operations. That was stopped. Our OCIO wanted to do a review of accessibility and what that does. We went back and just put human eyes on it. We've had a team go in and say, hey, Where are we good at? We've got to put the human touch back into it. What we found out, our disaster survivors don't want a computer to talk to, they want a human to talk to.
Right.
And so for us, it's more important that we bring back that human element.
Right. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate your answers there. And on that, Mr. Chair, I yield back.
Gentleman yields